Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my March 2023 book haul. So I did buy a few extra books than I planned, spent a little bit more than I wanted to, but I think because this month was just, I was kind of all over the place with my reading because of health issues. Things still go on going. I guess I still held myself back and sometimes, but there's some days that I didn't hold back. So I bought 18 books. So I brought 18 books in. I have read 2 of them in March. So at least 2 of them are I've read. So not as good as I would like. So anyway, so let's just go through it. There's quite a few different genres. It is more predominantly fantasy than anything else. So one of the, I would say it was a modern classic, is Lud in the Mist by Hope Mirrlees. So I heard about this from a book I read on Square Haunting. I think it's by Francesca Wade. I don't remember what her last name was, but it was a nonfiction about this place in England, or in London, between the wars, and it had to deal with Virginia Woolf and Dorothy L. Sayers, and I think also one of the people was Jane Hamilton, I think that was her name, who was a classic, like a historian. And I think her companion later in life was Hope Mirrlees, who wrote this book. And so it is a fae story, but I don't know much else about it. It's just that it was written back then, and it's kind of been rediscovered recently. So I think Neil Gaiman blurbs on this one, so I think that's why I started seeing about it. And I know there was a book club here or somebody's book group on YouTube also had it, or BookTube had it. Anyway, but I wanted to try that, so I got that. I did pre-order Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield from Blackwell's. So this is the paperback version. I didn't want to buy the hardback version, and I liked the water image anyway. So I don't know a lot about this except that everybody who reads it seems to really like it. So I'm hoping I will too. This has to do with 2 women. One goes on some kind of underwater, I don't know, it was in a submarine or whatever for a few weeks. She's supposed to be gone, but she's gone months. And when she comes back, it's showing what has changed about her, and her wife is trying to figure out what's going on and having to deal with it. So that's about all I know. I just hear really good things about it, and I've been wanting to read it, so I got that. I just got my pre-order in of Hotel of Secrets by Diana Biller. So this is a historical romance taking place in Vienna about this hotel, and I think it's in 1877. So I think the young woman, or who are following, I think her family owns the hotel, and they're trying to bring it back to be seen as a great hotel. And I think there's some spying going around because there's some American spy, I think, is there. And that's about all I know. So it's a historical romance, but has some spies in it. So, and it's historical. Sounded good. So anyway, and I like her writing. I read the Widow of Rose House, I think 2 years ago. I have her other book, The Brightest Star in Paris, to read hopefully in the next month or 2. So, but that sounded really good. I do have one nonfiction, Walking the Invisible, Following in the Bronte Steps by Michael Stewart. So this is talking about walking the area where the Brontes would walk and had wrote about in their novels. And since I have finished reading all the Bronte novels now of all the sisters, I'm trying to pick up nonfiction about the Brontes. So I thought this was a good one. I don't remember who I saw read this, and this bothers me because I bought it right after I saw the review on this. So sorry, I forgot. I need to, every time I think I write stuff down, I don't. Or I don't know where I wrote it. Anyway, but it sounds really interesting. Again, I said I want to read the really big biography on them by Juliet Barker, but I just have not got I'm going to do it sometime this year, but I thought if I started out with something smaller, I don't know, we'll see. But I thought it was another addition, another interesting way to look at the Brontes. And then I got 3 mysteries, Japanese classic mysteries. So from their golden age of mysteries, these are all how does he say that? The Detective Kosuke Kindaichi series. I'm pretty sure all of them, yeah, they're all have to do with them. I don't remember what order they go in, but I read the Hanjin murders for March Mystery Madness. So I really enjoyed that as because it was just different. And I think they're written in the 30s or 40s, but the publication dates on here say the 70s. So that's why I got confused. But these are all classic Japanese mysteries, and they have to do mostly with this he's like an amateur detective, but he's kind of Columbo kind of thing where he kind of comes off like nobody really believes he's going to figure anything out, and then he kind of surprises them in the end because he's so smart, but he comes off like kind of off. So at least that's how he felt like in the Hanjin murders. Anyway, so these are all different ones. I don't remember which is which, but they have different translators for each one. This one was Yumiko Yamazaki. This one is Louise Heel Kawai. And this one is Brian Carnet. How does he say his name? It's Brian Karetnik, I think. So anyway, it's weird that all these had different translators for the same series. So I know that there are 4 in this series out. I think it's a good sized series. I don't remember how many books there are. And I know book 5 is coming out in July, I believe. So anyway, I was hoping to pick up more of these in March because I bought them to read for March Mystery Madness, but then I got sick, and so it didn't happen. But I do want to still read those because I am, as much as I love Japanese literature, I'm enjoying Japanese mysteries as well, so I want to read more of those. Okay, so then let's talk about my pile of fantasy. So we'll do some of the urban fantasy first. So one of the books that I did read was the novella in here for Shelley Lawrenston of Belong to the Night. The novella I read was The Wolf, the Witch, and Her Lack of Wardrobe. It was a cute paranormal romance that is connected to the Long Island Coven, which the first book was My Kind of Town, which I read also earlier this month, or earlier in March. And so I wanted to read the second book in that short series. I didn't really read the other 2 in here because I bought this book just really for the novella by Shelley Lawrenston. So again, I really enjoyed it. It's kind of connected to the Magnus Pack and the Pride series, as well as the Honey Badger series. So it's kind of lightly connected to that whole world. It's the same world, just different location and different characters. But I really enjoyed that, and I've read it. So that's done. I did pick up another Nora Roberts, one of her paranormals, or what they're called, paranoras. Anyway, this is The Awakening. It's the first book in the Dragonheart Legacy. I think it's only a 3-book series, and I think the last one just came out in the fall. So I wanted to read this. I know it has to do with dragons or something. So I think this woman doesn't know anything about her mother, and then she stumbles upon that, her father. Her father has disappeared or something, and then she stumbles upon the discovery that she has all this money, and she doesn't know where that came from except from her missing father. And then something starts happening with that, and that's about all I know. But again, it's the Nora Roberts, and it's paranormal, so I usually enjoy those. So I'm hoping to get to that soon and start that series. I picked up The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, kind of on a whim. I've seen so many people have this on TBRs and stuff. I just don't know if I've ever seen anybody finish the book. So this has to do with a writer who is being a ghostwriter for a popular author, and she's just down on her luck and nothing is going right. And she asks for an extension from her new editor, and he pretty much turns her down flat, saying that he can't give her an extension. They need the book. And so, I think something happens and her father passes away. So she goes home, and so she has to deal with that as well. And I think they run, a funeral parlor. And when she gets there, she sees a ghost, and it's her new editor. And so there's something going on there. I think it's kind of romantic. There's romance in here, but it's pretty heavy with grief and some other elements. So I don't know. I kind of picked it up on a whim one day. So you guys have to let me know if you liked that. And then I picked up a used copy of Wolfsong by TJ Klune. So this is the first book in the Green Creek series, I believe. Yeah. So I don't know a whole lot about this except that it has to do with werewolves. And it has to do with young men. One who meets one, I think when they're kids, and then later they meet again. I'm not positive. I actually have no idea. I would really love to get to this before the next hardback version comes out that looks like this. Just because they are so pretty. I didn't need this. Like, it's not like, oh, it's really orange. I didn't know that. But I got it used, as I said, online. And so, I do, want to read it so I know if I want to pick up the next book. We'll see what happens. So you have to let me know if that's a good series. And then I have a couple, cozy fantasies, I would guess. Actually, this one I'm not sure is considered cozy, is The Keeper of Enchanted Rooms by Charlie N. Holmberg. So I can't remember if this is considered cozy or it's like faking as one, but it's a fantasy. It has to do with a guy in this house, and he inherits this place and he's kind of surprised by it. And then I don't know if the house locks him in or he can't leave or something, and somebody has to come and help him. And then he doesn't want that person to leave, or the house doesn't want that person to leave. I'm not positive on this. I've seen a lot of people pick it up. Again, I don't know how it goes, but I picked it up on a whim one day when it was kind of cheap. I also got Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. So this keeps popping up for like cozy fantasies. And this one is about two people who open a bookstore to serve tea. And one's a palace guard and one's a mage. And they're trying to like kind of calm their lives down and not get so involved in politics. But I think they still get something has obviously going on. There's treason involved. I'm not sure. But it looks cute. And I know that there's at least another book out in this series that looks kind of piratey. So I do want to try that. And then one that I did read already, which is The Bookshop and the Barbarian by Morgan Stang. So this is following a woman named Marabella who takes over a bookstore that's been locked up run for over 20 years due to the last owner's death. And she takes it over, trying to start over her life. And the first thing she sees is there are goblins in there. So she hires a barbarian, and they form a friendship of them running this bookshop. And it has small town stuff going on. There's a noble woman who wants to tear down the bookstore because she wants to build something else. And it was just a cute story. There's a couple laugh out loud moments in there. I thought it was really fun and light. Not the best thing I've read or will remember, but it was just a fun ride. I think it was a good time for what it was. And then I have some other different kinds of fantasy here. The Magician's Daughter by H.G. Perry. I also picked up at Barnes & Noble. This one has to do with a woman who was found by this magician on an island, and every night he flies off, often turning into a crow and flying off to the mainland. But one time he doesn't come back, and then it's her trying to figure out how to save her guardian, I believe. I don't know. Beyond that, it just looks good. I don't know. Has anybody read it? Let me know. I did pick up The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I just wanted to try one of her books, and I picked the vampire one because I was just feeling in a vampire mood, I guess. So this one is the first book in the Crowns of Nagxia. I don't know how you say that word. Series. I think the second one comes out later this month or something, of April. So I think it has to do with a woman who is the adopted human daughter of the vampire king. And then she is, wants to somehow make her so she is more accepted or something by winning. I think she goes into a tournament, and then she is paired up with somebody that she doesn't want to be paired up with. And there's some kind of fantasy romance in here. I'm not sure how it goes beyond that. I've heard really good things about this author. I almost picked up the other book. Okay, so there's also says the Nightborn Duet Book 1. I don't know which series it is. Someone will have to tell me. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to this fantasy romance. I want to get more into some of them as when my mood calls for it. So that's one. I want to read more vampires. God Killer by Hannah Kanner. So I got this from Book Depository. Oh, it's so pretty. Anyway, so this is the first book in a series. I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know if I know the... Yeah, it doesn't have the series name on here. I'm not sure. Maybe it's God Killer. Anyway, this is following a woman whose family was killed by a god, and then she she kills gods, but she comes across one that she can't kill. And I don't know anything beyond that. I've heard good things about this, and there's so pretty copies out there of this, and I just couldn't wait to get this, so I bought it as a set from across the water. Anyway, so I'm hoping to get to this soon because it's not very long. It is the first book in a series, but it's still under 300 pages. I really want to read that. And then the last one is a pre-order I got of The Foxglove King by Hannah Winton. So I really liked her Wilderwood duology for the Wolf and For the Crown for different reasons. I like both books pretty well. So I wanted to read her next series. This one is dealing with politics and stuff, and there's a Lore who is has to keep something secret about her her affinity with death, something to do with death, and then of course she gets found out. So sounds really good. As I said, I want to get to this fairly soon because I did pre-order it. It is the first in the trilogy though. So now I'll have to wait. But anyway, that is the last of it. So those are all the 18 books that I bought in March. I did have one other book that I bought that got lost in the mail. So it could have been worse. Sorry, all of a sudden I got the cough. Anyway, if there's any of these books that you think I should read sooner rather than later, let me know. I'm in a mood read. I might pick it up if you tell me that I need to read that book. There are some of these here I want to slip in and I want to get to soon, but I have so many books that I want to read already on my TBR. You know, sometimes it's hard to pick. So if you see one that you know is really good or you want to see me read it, let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.